Hey KU fans, welcome back to another episode of KU Sports Extra here on KUsports.com. Tom Keegan to my right, I'm Matt Tait, and we're back to a regular episode this week since the Jayhawks are back from their bye week. Should we start with some good news, Tom?
Sure.
All right, the good news, and it's not football related because let's face it, they play Baylor this week. That's a little bit of a daunting task. But the good news is basketball related, and I don't think anybody can argue that that was good news, seeing Roy Williams come back to Lawrence, Kansas. First time in Allen Fieldhouse since the last practice of the 2003 season. Just an incredible thing to see Roy welcome back with an incredible ovation. 2, 3, 4 different times, loud, proud. Obviously, you know the guy, he's emotional. He was emotional on Monday night, and it was just awesome to see. It was long overdue.
Totally appropriate, and to have the 4 living KU coaches in the same building. And you look at the winning percentages, Ted Owens had a good one. Larry Brown's was better. Roy Williams was better than Larry Brown's. And Bill Self's is better than Roy Williams. And
they're all great. I mean, it's not like they were just incrementally better versus the one before them. They're all really impressive. And the whole night was really impressive. I mean, Coach Self was himself. He was the master of everything, controlling the thing. He's the sitting head coach at KU, so a little more comfort there. But Coach Williams was awesome. His words were very genuine. It obviously meant a lot to him. And the last thing he said that I thought was really cool was, thank you for being a great part of a wonderful 15 years of my life. I love you. I love this place. Go KU. For the head basketball coach at North Carolina to say that just shows what class he has and what an awesome thing this place still means to him.
And he's going to catch a lot of
for sure.
What would be a word?
Flack
from North Carolina people for that, but he doesn't care. He said what was on his mind.
Yeah, and Bill Self ended his portion of the night with an equally impressive thing. Roy, I think I speak for everyone here when I say 12 years is too long for another visit. Get back here soon. It was very cool, very cathartic. I think everybody enjoyed it. So no question, good news. How about bad news?
Well, the bad news is you would like to have your bye week, come off your bye week, playing a team that maybe played a week ago, so that you have 2 weeks to prepare for them, and they don't have 2 weeks to prepare for you. A team maybe coming off a win and feeling too good about itself. A team maybe not overwhelmingly more talented in every single matchup. But that's the luck of the draw for a Kansas football team that's having a rough time this season, although playing better under interim head coach Clint Bowen. Next up, Baylor, bad news, Bears.
Yeah, I was looking for things that might be Kansas's advantage in this one. It was hard to find any. But I even looked, well, who does Baylor play next? Maybe they're looking ahead, and they do have Oklahoma, but Oklahoma already has 2 losses. So it's not even like that's, the winner of that game will be the Big 12 champion. It's far from that. So even the maybe they'll overlook us line doesn't really work this week.
And the bad news is, of course, it doesn't. The backup quarterback, Seth Russell, who's been terrific in spot duty, originally committed to KU, but when Turner Gill was fired, he decommitted and committed to Baylor.
Bad news. Bad news. Let's get to Lost in Translation and hear what Clint Bowen had to say a little about the matchup.
Well, earlier in the we talked about up front being able to be physical and finish off blocks. A lot of those times you're talking about, can you knock a guy back enough just to get a crease? And we unfortunately haven't been able to do that. And that's been an emphasis and something we've talked about, for a couple of weeks now, that up front being able to get some push.
Translation, building an offensive line with junior college players never has worked, does not work, never will work. Time to get back to recruiting high school prospects who don't yet look like college offensive linemen, but can become college offensive linemen in the weight room and on the practice field.
Yeah, no question about it. That's the direction, whoever the next head coach is, whether it's Bowen or someone else, that's the direction that they have to go.
Because 4th and 1, 3rd and 1, that's who the key is. The offensive line needs to get searched. Sure. And they're having major problems with those short yardage. Those can change a game, 3rd and 1 especially. You should be able to get 3rd and 1s at a pretty regular rate, and KU struggled big time with that. Let's break down this game and head over to Breakdown Street real quick. Baylor
leads the Big 12 in a dozen different offensive statistical categories. They lead the nation in 4. It's just an absolute nightmare matchup. And that's for a Kansas defense that actually does rank in the top half of the Big 12 in most categories. So, yeah, you'd love to sit here and say, well, the defense, if they just show up and play, they could hold these guys down. They can't. This defense is really, really talented, but this offense is on another stratosphere. It's scary, and it all starts with Bryce Petty, their quarterback, of course. This guy, Clint Bowen, talked about it earlier this week, how impressed he is with him. Not necessarily because of his physical tools and all that, although that's part of it, but just because of his mind and his understanding of the system and the way he, when I did my feature with Clint, where we followed him around for a day, I was able to watch some film with him, and he was watching Petty, and he was thinking, how did he see that? He was verbalizing this and speaking out loud. What was his key to make that throw or this throw or that read? I mean, it was incredible to watch this guy just, and break it down that way and watch him just absolutely have a complete mastery of the offense and the whole game and what the defense is doing.
And he's protected by a great line. He's protected by the fact that they have such a good running game.
Right.
So
Shock Linwood, one of the best names in the history of the Big 12. I love that name, and he's a big-time running back. So
yeah, it's a great name, and it's a great team. This is, Kansas can try to be respectable here. Well, they'll try to win.
Right.
You can hope for is that they can be respectable and beat the spread.
Yeah.
Come 4-0 against the spread.
You're right, and 2 weeks should help, right? But you're right, Baylor's had 2 weeks too, and everything just seems like this one could be a little bit less what we've seen the last few weeks. But we'll see how it goes, definitely. Let's get to it. Prediction time. It doesn't sound like either one of us is going to pick Kansas. I know we both picked them the last time, but who do you have in this one, and what's the score, Tom?
I'll go Baylor something like 42-10. 42 is not bad against Baylor.
Right.
It really isn't that bad. And the game's in Waco. There's so much going against Kansas here.
Yeah, it's going to be cool to see the new stadium, too. I know I'm looking forward to it, and it seems like it'll be a pretty cool environment. Even though Kansas doesn't always draw the best crowds elsewhere, it'll still be rocking.
And, Baylor's a friendly campus.
Yeah.
TCU, very friendly campus. Certain places are just so welcoming.
No doubt. Yeah, there's no doubt. I've got a similar score. Give KU a few more points, but I've got Baylor 49, Kansas 21. I just think 7 touchdowns shouldn't be that difficult for Baylor to rack up. And
21 would be an impressive outing.
It would be. Yeah, it would be. And, I think maybe if we see some benefit from the 2 weeks off or the 2 weeks to prepare, it might come offensively. Again, you've got your hands full trying to even hope to slow down this Baylor offense. So I'm going to give Kansas the bump offensively, but still have 49-21, 42-10. Primetime pick for this game. Who do you got?
Well, I'm going to go way out there on a limb. So let's hope it's a strong limb or I could fall out of a tree. I'm going Ben Haney as the primetime performer here.
Who?
The middle linebacker.
Oh, 31. Okay, yeah I know that
Senior
guy.
from Hutch.
Yeah, Hutchinson.
I like to call it Hutch.
Not bad. He's a good player. Why do you like him this week?
Baylor is a good running team, and he's going to be really keyed up to stop the run and see if the D-backs and the Michael Reynolds can take care of the rest.
Maybe he'll finally have a game where he makes a few tackles. I mean,
that'd be nice.
Show up one time.
21 last game, and 17 were solo. 4 of them he needed help on.
God, he had like 13 in the first quarter, so he only got like 8 the next 3 quarters.
Man,
guy's a joke. Anyway, that's a joke.
You're scared of him.
I am. He's crazy.
So am I.
No, I love him. He's one of my favorite players to ever cover.
Yeah, keep saying that because you're scared of him.
And I really like him a lot. He's a good dude. He's a really smart guy. Okay.
And the thing is, you can't outrun him. A lot of big guys, you can outrun them.
I couldn't outrun anybody. Let's be honest. Maybe you.
You ran a 5.3 in the 40.
5.31.
In my prime, you could not have outrun.
No chance.
Save that on the record.
No chance. You were in the Olympics?
No, although I did tell a coworker that who believed it, but that's another story.
Okay, I'll get to my primetime pick then. I'm going to stick with the defensive side of the ball and go Michael Reynolds. This guy in the last 3 games under Clint Bowen's direction as the interim head coach, 12 tackles, 3 sacks, 6 tackles for loss, and he's just looked like the animal everybody kind of thought he could be all along. Even the times where he hasn't made a play or made a tackle, he's been there and forced the issue. Some hurries. I didn't look up his hurries. I don't even know if KU keeps those stats. But he's really been a disruptive force off the edge, and I think that can continue.
Really kicking into senior gear.
Right.
I mean, Ben Haney, Jermaine Mundine.
Yeah.
These seniors are getting it going here and just doing everything they can to get out of here with a win.
I think that's it. They feel the urgency. I think they felt it all summer. But
and they also like Clint Bowen because they know he's making them better.
Sure.
And they really want to send him out with a win to help his chances of getting the job on a permanent basis.
Yeah, that's very true. They are playing as much for him as they are themselves, of course. So, well, let's wrap it up with the most obnoxious man or player in sports this week. Tom, I know you have another good one. Yours are always good, though. You've gone auto racing a couple of times with this, though, which is kind of a surprise. But
well, yeah,
big auto racer.
You got to call them out. This one is more sad, but it's obnoxious because the Oklahoma football team chaplain was allegedly got into a guy's car under the guise of taking a test drive and then stole his prescription medication. And he's a team chaplain.
Yeah.
Not the kind of alleged behavior you expect out of a team chaplain. Wish him luck in taking care of whatever problems he has, but that is very obnoxious.
Yeah, no way to represent yourself, first of all, but certainly not your university and program and all that. That's really bad. That might be one of the worst ones we've had. I'm going to go on a little lighter note, but I'm going to go with Chicago Bears GM Phil Emery and head coach Mark Trestman, simply for still having Jay Cutler's back. I mean, I don't like Cutler. I didn't like him in Denver, to be fair.
So it's not even Cutler who's the most
Well, I could do that every week, yeah. But these guys, I mean, it just makes them look obnoxious to sit there and say, no, he's still our guy. They gave him a $127 million contract, which was ridiculous for a guy who's never won anything of substance.
If I could have just had $27 million.
You'd be...
You think Cutler would have said no to the $100 million, then I get the $27 million?
He would have probably given you 30.
Man, I'd walk around in a Bears jersey for $27
Yeah, and I think you would probably deserve more of that money than he is, because you're going to win the same amount of games for the Bears as he is. Jay Cutler's a joke. He's no leader. He's no guy that's going to be the face of your franchise. He's got physical talent, and he can play the game, but he's an awful leader, and you're never going to win anything for real. So the longer they continue to say that, the more obnoxious they become, the more obnoxious he becomes. It's just
know
obnoxious.
This about the Chicago Bears. If you want to guess and guess right on a draft pick, a free agent signing, whatever it is, if the Bears select a defensive player, he's going to be better than everyone thought.
Yeah.
If they select an offensive player, he's going to be worse than everyone thought.
There
are exceptions, obviously, through the years, Walter Payton being the loudest. But
he was okay.
That's basically the way it goes for the Chicago Bears.
Yeah, and they're 3-5 right now, and gosh, reeling I think is the right word. So they're so obnoxious, and so is Cutler. I'm over it, but not really.
Denver Broncos.
I didn't like him there, though. I didn't like him there, and I will stand behind that. People can attest to that. It's just
but that's why you still dislike him, just because he didn't get it done for your beloved Broncos.
No, it has nothing to. I celebrated. I had a party the day they traded him. Get him out of here.
Do you like the few Broncos, namely Chris Harris? Do you like him?
He's a good guy. He's a good player.
Do you like Aqib Talib?
I like him.
Absolutely.
Got to.
Do you like Steven Johnson?
Why not?
Okay.
Why not?
Do you like anyone on this Kansas roster being a Bronco and joining the Kansas West roster?
Let's throw Ben Heaney on there. I'd take him in a second. And you know who else would? Peyton Manning. He'd love Ben Heaney.
Would he?
Wouldn't he?
Why not? Who wouldn't?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, keep saying nice things about Heaney. Because he may chase you down in an alley.
We'll see. I might, if I could get him wrong-footed, I might have a chance to, extend my career, we'll say.
No chance. If he had a knee injury, a minor knee injury, they had to go and clean something up, that would be your only chance. And
while he's on the table?
Yeah. I don't think they're going to let you in there.
No, probably not. One last note about Chris Harris. He and his wife just had their first child, a baby girl. Very cool thing for Chris Harris. He's very excited about it. And the guy's
Bixby High.
That's right, the pride of Bixby, Oklahoma. He's about 90% back from that ACL injury he had. And still, people are talking about him as one of the best corners in the NFL right now. It's just...
And he's not even the best corner from Kansas on
his team.
Broncos
right,
roster.
It's amazing.
What a juggernaut Kansas football once was.
Yeah, scary.
And can be again.
There you go. Well, hey, happy Halloween, everybody. I hope you've got great Tom Keegan, Chris Harris, Ben Heaney, whatever costume you've got for this year. Enjoy it. And we'll talk to you guys next week on another episode of KU Sports Extra.